On the news today, Anambra government targets to expand immunization coverage across the state. Governor OBIANO receives award of excellence from Nigeria Institute of Surveyors. Nigerian Air Force destroys bandits camp in Zamfara state. And on the foreign scene, Iraqi-Canadian man sentenced to 26 years in prison for role in deadly attacks on U.S. base. A good evening to you and thanks for being with us this evening. My name is Ifunanya Amafili, and the news in details. Governor Willie Obiano has flagged off the first round of maternal, newborn and child health care week in the state. Governor Obiano performed functions at the primary health care center, Ebu Umunem, Otolo Newi, in Newi North Council area. And our government house correspondent, Ejike Abana, now reports.
The event attracted Ndenewi, including the former governor of Anambra State, Dame Beji Etiaba, the Commissioner for Health, Dr. Vincent Okpala, government functionaries, traditional ruler of Nnewi, Igwe Kenneth Orizu, among others. Performing the function, Governor Obiano called on Anambra to make their children available for the exercise, which will end in a week. The governor highlighted various achievements of his administration in the health sector, including providing adequate medical equipment and speedboats to riverine areas of the state, which ensured comprehensive immunization coverage of the state, resulting to the state emerging winner in immunization coverage, beating other states of the federation, stressing that over 2 million children have been immunized in the state since 2014. Governor Obiano urged participants to join in sensitizing their neighbors and called on people who still think that immunization kills children to disregard such information.
I'm here at Ebu Otolo Newi to flag off the 2019 immunization of our children. This is a whole week affair. I encourage people in this community to come out to have their children immunized, and we're giving other supplements to make sure that their children grow very well. This is a free exercise. Last year we came first in the nation for the wide coverage of this immunization.
The Commissioner for Health, Dr. Vincent Okpala, said that the exercise is the state government's efforts to boost routine immunization rates, reduce child morbidity and mortality, thereby increase mother and child health, and expressed optimism that they will increase their target in years to come.
The overall goal for us here today is to reduce neonatal, maternal, child morbidity and mortality. We want to supplement vitamin A to children 6 months to 59 months. We want to ensure the sustenance of break in the transmission of white polio virus in the state.
Earlier, the Executive Secretary of the State Primary Health Care Development Agency, Dr. Choma Ezenyimolo, stressed that the exercise is free and identified areas of intervention to include nutrition screening, vitamin A supplementation, birth registration, family planning, distribution of long-lasting insecticidal treated nets, deworming, antenatal care, health education, among others. Symbolic immunization by the governor, as well as renditions by children from Dubem Nursery Primary School, featured at the event. From Nnewi, Ejike Abana, ABS News.
The Nigerian Institute of Surveyors, NIS, has presented an award of excellence to Governor Willie Obiano in recognition of his exceptional leadership style and support to the association. The governor received the award during the 45th Annual General Meeting and Conference of the association holding in Oka. And our correspondent, Emmanuel Okonkwo, was there and our reports.
Event which kicked off on Monday this week with the theme National Mapping, Infrastructure, and geospatial technologies in monitoring disasters for sustainable development attracted members of the association from across the country, including wives of the surveyors, and exposed the participants to ways of adapting to the 21st century requirements of the profession. Declaring the event open, Governor OBIANO, who was represented by his deputy, Dr. Nkemo Okeke, while describing the surveyors as indispensable in human environment, assured that his government will continue to support and partner them in its quest to reclaiming lands from erosion, as he identified flooding as one of the major natural disasters experienced by the state.
So we have to look for good sites. That's where the surveyor will always come in, to go and map out the area. So the work is continuous. And I continue to pray that you all will continue to do your duty in your respective locations and make people's life better than you met it in Jesus' name.
Earlier in an address, the president of the association, Mr. Charles Alabo, commended the state governor for carrying surveyors in the state along in the scheme of things and encouraged members to always stick to professionalism in order to retain the pride of the profession. Mr. Alabo disclosed that the association, which was founded in 1934 as the Licensed Surveyors Association and was later changed to Land Surveyors Association of Nigeria in 1960 and then in 1966 changed to Nigerian Institution of Surveyors, aims at seeking the professional well-being of its members, maintaining the integrity of the profession and enhancing its status, among others. In a remark, the President, Association of Professional Bodies of Nigeria, APBN, Engineer Olumuyiwa Ajibola, commended the group for helping in tackling disasters of all sorts in the country, calling for synergy amongst professional bodies in the country to guide the nation on how to develop through knowledge on disaster-related issues towards achieving sustainable development in Nigeria.
The Association of Professional Bodies plead for all professions, high integrity and ethical standards.
On his part, the President, National Population Commission, Mr. Joaquin Olasi, acknowledged the importance of surveyors in human existence, describing the theme of the event as apt as it addresses issues facing the sustainability of the nation's development. Special rendition by wives of the surveyors for their husbands added glamour to the event. In Oka, I am Emmanuel Okonkwo, reporting for ABS News.
Anambra state government has embarked on distilling and clearing of drainages around the major cities across the state. The aim is to ensure free flow of water, and our correspondent, Valentine Mbaduha, reports.
The ABS, during the exercise along the Koka axis, the outgoing Commissioner for Environment, Mr. Mike Okonkwo, who disclosed this, noted that it was the directive of Governor Willie Obiano, pointing out that it is a precautionary approach to prevent flooding. The commissioner noted that the exercise is ongoing at the major cities across the state and other areas which are prone to heavy flooding during the rainy season, and called on Anambra to collaborate with the state government to ensure that the environment is protected.
It's because the drainages are blocked, so you have flooding when there shouldn't be flooding. You know, if the drainages are clear, the water will go to the final destination, which is natural, flood paths, which is usually rain, river, or the like.
Contributing, the contractor in charge of the exercise, Chief Raf Obidimma, noted that the drainage channels across the state required standard and is capable of controlling the flood caused by rainfalls, but regretted that some people are being indifferent to public facilities which was meant to benefit everyone, calling on the relevant stakeholders to ensure strict monitoring and punishment of offenders, which he said will help in curbing illegal dumping of refuse, especially into the drains, commending the governor for the exercise.
In every area, we have a channel where the rain, where the rain is being discharged to the main place. So now we open up every other channel to Anambra, every area of Oka Capital Territory.
A shop owner around Ikoka, Mr. Jeffrey Nwankwo, noted that the act is clear demonstration of commitment towards providing in the Anambra with safe and friendly environment, noting that it goes a long way to show that the governor is aware of what is happening within the state, but condemned the rate and manner at which people dump refuse into the flood channels.
I want to use this medium to advise general masses. The way I read, they used to dump refuse and other things that block the quota. It's very bad. They should assist government in controlling those things.
In Oka, Valentine Mbaduwa reporting for ABS News.
Residents of Peter Venture Street in Pikpa Layout, Ukpoko, in Ogbaru Council area have heaved a sigh of relief as they now have access roads to their streets, which was blocked by a structure erected at the center of the street by one Mr. Remy Eze. The access road was created following the demolition of the illegal structure and other shanties embarked upon by the Office of the Transition Committee Chairman, Ogbaru Council area, Mr. Arinze Chukwu Awogo. And our correspondent, Gini Osadebe, filed the report, taken from our studio.
The exercise, which was carried out with heavy presence of armed security personnel, attracted commendation from the residents of the streets as they appreciated the present administration and the state for its efforts towards alleviating the plight of the people. Some of the residents, including Mrs. Emeka Oruche and Okezo Koli, said that the community has suffered untold hardship due to the blockage, as they have over 4 streets with similar obstructions, noting that hoodlums are using the structures as their hideouts where they carry out their criminal activities, while some have converted the building as a dump site. Another resident, Mrs. Doris Okoye, expressed joy at the development, adding that since the blockage, she no longer makes sales, as people find it difficult to get to her shop from other streets. Government officials at the site, including the Special Advisor to the Governor on Local Government Liaison, Mr. Hippolyte Obedi, and Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Local Government Liaison, Engineer Okeudeze, stated that they received series of letters from the leadership of the community over the obstruction and were mandated by Ogbaru Council Transition Committee Chairman, Comrade Arinze Awogo, to carry out the demolition exercise. The Chairman Committee of Works of the Council, Engineer Nnamdi Sumei, recounted series of consultations and letters written to the said Mr. Eze, who constructed a structure to remove it to no avail, saying that they have no other option than to use force.
We wrote a letter to him to come and remove it. He refused. So we as a government, people here are complaining. So we now say, okay, we can't be in the government and such thing will happen. So we say we should come and put a smile in these people's, because people are living around here.
Nigerian Air Force destroys bandits camp in Zamfara State. And on the foreign scene, Iraqi-Canadian man sentenced to 26 years in prison for the role in deadly attack on U.S. base. We'll have more details on this when we come back. Do stay with us.
In all the cities and all the streets, in all the places where people meet, from Niger to yonder, we've got you talking. You are the one that's balling to keep you talking. Yeah! Talking. We got people talking. We got people talking. Talking. We've got people talking. Dressing from east to the west to the south. Everywhere they come by, they know the mouth.
With 5 times bonus to call all networks on every recharge, we get you talking. Recharge with *555* PIN#. Glow Unlimited.
ABS, Heartbeats of the East.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Moving over to the national scene, in continuation of operations aimed at rooting out armed bandits from their safe haven within the various forests in the northwest of Nigeria, the air component of Operation Haderindaji has degraded the camp and killed scores of armed bandits in airstrikes conducted at a location near Dangote village in Zamfara State. In a statement released by the Nigerian Air Force Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Ibukunle Daramola, the operation was executed based on credible human intelligence reports indicating that some armed bandit leaders had assembled for an overnight meeting in a cluster of huts at the location to plan for attacks against nearby communities. The statement said some surviving bandits who were firing at the armed attack platforms were mopped up in follow-on attacks by the helicopter while attempting to flee the location. He assured that the NAF, working in consonance with other security agencies, will sustain its operations to flush out the bandits out of the northwest of the country. And on business today, major oil-producing countries meet in Vienna on July 1 and 2. The OPEC website and the delegates said after the biannual gathering had been postponed several times. Oil producers, led by Saudi Arabia, are expected to decide whether to extend production cuts, with investors welcoming the news that the date has been set. The 176th meeting of the OPEC conference will be on July 1st, followed by the 6th meeting of OPEC and non-OPEC ministers, which includes Russia. And moving over to the foreign scene, an Iraqi-Canadian man was sentenced to 26 years in prison by a federal court in Brooklyn for his role in orchestrating the April 2009 truck bombing of a U.S. base in Mosul, Iraq, that killed 5 soldiers, officials have said. 2 Iraqi police officers also died in the explosion. Farouk Khalid Mohammed Issa, 51 years, pleaded guilty in March 2018 to 1 count of conspiracy to murder Americans. The charge carries a maximum sentence of life, but prosecutors agreed to a sentence of 26 years under a plea deal, U.S. Justice Department officials have said. Prosecutors have said that while living in Canada, Issa conspired with a group of militants that carried out a suicide truck bombing on April 10, 2009, at the United States Forward Operating Base, Marez, in Mosul. And on sports, the Anambra state government is to equip a modern sports facility in the state in 6 months' time. Governor OBIANO disclosed this when he received Anambra contingents to the 2018 National Sports Festival at the Governor's Lodge, Amobia. And our Government House correspondent, Ejike Abana, is our guide.
They won a total of 48 medals ranging from gold to bronze for the state after participating in National Youth Games and National Sports Festival at Ilorin and Abuja in September and December respectively, while expressing optimism that the facility will aid the advancement of sports in the state. Governor OBIANO commended the Sports Commission for rejuvenating sporting activities in the state, stressing that the short while spent by Mr. Tony Lee at the Sports Commission has repositioned the sector, stressing that names of a lot of young stars have been written down as a way of catching young talents to harness very bright stars. Governor OBIANO also announced the legendary Mary Onyali Omagbemi as Anambra State Sports Ambassador to ensure that her success secrets are imbibed in the younger ones, urging the young sportsmen to work harder to polish their talents.
What he started doing is the way to go. Catching them young from the primary school, secondary, and of course from these 2 segments of the education, you will be able to pick very bright stars that you can harness. You'll be able to do like Mary Onyali, who has very proudly flown the Nigerian flag in many ways.
The chairman of the State Sports Commission, Chief Tony Oli, stressed that for the first time in 20 years, Anambra State recorded the best result in sports and appreciated the governor for making it possible by creating the opportunities, assuring that they will get more victories for the state. Chief Oli announced that they have already started to prepare for the National Youth Games and National Sports Festival coming up next year, expressing optimism that they will win more medals for the state.
Now that we are preparing for the National Youth Games and also for the National Sports Festival, you have only one promise to make, to double whatever thing we have done that made the governor to receive you today.
Speaking, Chief Mary Onyali Omagwemi, who performed very well in the sports world during her hair days, asked the young stars to avoid playing with their education while engaging in sports, noting that relying on their sports laurels alone without recourse to their education will place them at a disadvantaged position in future. She added that she was able to become a 5-time Olympian and 2-time bronze medalist because she struck a balance between education and sports, which has helped her reach her present pedestal, urging them to use the opportunity offered by state government as a challenge to become better people.
We've already mapped out a strategy on how to get sports generally, both male and female, developed or going back to the podium like we used to do during my hair days. I'm back home to ginger everybody, all the youths, in primary, secondary school, all the way to the elite.
Checks and certificates presentations were made to them by the governor. From the Governor's Lodge, Amobia, Ejike Abana, ABS News.
To stay updated, remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from many parts of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/ABS Radio TV Online. Follow us on our Twitter handle at ABS Radio TV and on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can also log on to our website, which is www.absradiotv.com. And before we end the news this evening, we'll go through our headlines for today. The Anambra state government targets to expand immunization coverage across the state. Governor OBIANO has received Award of Excellence from Nigerian Institution of Surveyors. Nigerian Air Force has destroyed bandits' camp in Zamfara state. And on the foreign scene, we brought to you that Iraqi-Canadian man has been sentenced to 26 years in prison for role in deadly attack on U.S. base. And with that, we'll end the news this evening. Thanks for staying with us. I am Ifunanya Amafili. Good night.